All right, guys, I want to talk to you about something that is very, very troubling to me. And it's when guys want to do gun deals and they either flake out or they change things or they just don't communicate back well. Now, here's the thing, guys. Of course, I'm not perfect. And, there's times I plan to do something or go with people or go out and do this and that, and things change and plans change. But when it comes to firearms and dealing with firearms, I conduct it like I'm a business. That's just the way I conduct it. I treat it that seriously. Okay? Not that I buy that many firearms, that it's a business, but just I conduct it in that serious of a manner. So I'll tell you guys what happened with me, and it was also going to benefit you because I was going to do a little video series, and it was going to be for you guys. So I'll tell you guys what I mean by that. First of all, let me tell you guys what I've seen in the past, okay? Whether it's on forums or social media with like little underground sites, it's still legal to do this, but it's just against the social media policy to do it. Okay, so I live in a free state, and in a free state, anything that you can buy in a gun store here, I can go and buy or sell or trade to somebody face to face. The only stipulation is that we're both an Ohio resident. I can even have a gun shipped to my house from somebody private in Ohio. I've had it done once before. I got a video up about that. So basically, somebody on the other side of the state of Ohio had a gun for sale on a forum. He said, hey, I'm willing to ship. Paid him through PayPal. And he shipped me the firearm. It came to my door. UPS. You cannot use USPS. That would be federal crime. But it came UPS brown truck to my door. It was kind of cool. Glock 27. And that was totally legal. But most guys will not ship. They just won't. And that's fine. But most guys just won't do it even though it's legal. So there's guys that'll flake out. I've seen guys just, I don't know if they got a better offer or a better trade deal. And guys get on the forums and they talk about, hey, this guy just blocked me, didn't contact me back, just wouldn't answer me. And I've seen where guys drove an hour to meet someone and the other guy didn't show up and didn't message him. I've also seen one that was legitimate where a guy had a wreck on the way to meet somebody, and he sent photos and with the time and the date on his phone, and he sent this guy correct photos and everything was good on that. But I've seen guys flake out. The majority of the guys I deal with in firearms face-to-face, whether it's buying, selling, or trading, have always been above and beyond good. So let's talk about what went on here just as of last night. Some guy was offering a Glock 19, and it was going to be cheaper than even what I can get my discount for. It was a Glock 19 Gen 4, and he wanted $400 for it, or $450 with the TLR1 that was on it. I didn't want the TRL1, don't need it. And it was like new, okay? It was really clean, it was like new, I had pictures and everything from the forum. So I got an idea of what I wanted to do, and I said, you know what? I'm going to tell this guy I'll buy this gun, if no one said yet that they'll buy it. $400, that's, no taxes, no nothing, just meat, bump, boom, here's the money, here's the gun, go. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to buy this gun, I'm going to wear my GoPro the whole time, and I'm going to show people that are not in free states like California, New Jersey, Maryland, the list goes on, right? New York City. I was going to show you guys what it looks like when I do a private face-to-face gun transaction that would literally cost you a felony and be federal in the state you live in, be a federal crime where you live. And I can do it right here and put it on camera. So that was going to be the first video, was I was going to do a whole video of the transaction of me getting the gun, looking at it. I was going to wear it on body cam style, giving them the money, meeting them and all that. And the second video was going to be me trying to quick flip it for $460. So just for fun, I was going to put it on forums and maybe Arms List, and I was going to put $460 firm, and then I was going to let you guys know if I could sell it for $460 and how quickly I made the $60. I'm only 10 minutes maximum from this guy, but let me tell you what happened with this guy. Just silly. So this guy had listed this on somewhere, I'm not going to say where, and I'm going to get into our messages here. So last night, I messaged him, it was late, which is fine. I didn't expect him to answer me. That's totally fine. And I put this so he'd see it in the morning. This was at 1:27 a.m. my time. I said, if you still have the G19 for 400 without the light, I'll take it, and I'm close in blank. Can pick up Saturday. So the next morning, he actually messaged me pretty early, which was fine, 8:46 in the morning. This was his reply. I still have it, yeah, comma. I have a loaded day today, but maybe we can work out a pickup time. Then he just dropped off the face of the earth. Never got back to me. Hours went by, never said anything. He has a loaded day. He knows where I said I'm from. I'm within 10 minutes of this guy. So I could have went completely to where he was at. I don't care what he was doing. I could have went to his work. I could have went anywhere. He just said he had a loaded day. He didn't say he was at work. He said he had a loaded day. Normally, guys, when I want to sell something, there's a reason I'm selling it or to buy something. I'm motivated when it comes to a firearm. So later in the afternoon, I send this. Sounds good. Do you have the box and 3 mags? Thanks. The box and 3 mags, ? Thanks. This was his reply. I do, ... Somewhere around here, LOL. At this point, I'm like, man, this guy's a flake. I'm like, this dude's a total flake, because I asked if you have the box and 3 mags, and you just gave me a blank answer to all that saying, I do, ... Somewhere around here, LOL. So are you telling me it's questionable in the magazines in the box, or questionable in the box, or the magazines? Because worst case scenario, if you don't have the box, I'll still take the gun and the 3 mags. So he just left it open at that. At this point, I never messaged the guy back, and he never, ever got back with me. I almost showed you the screen. I can't do that. Several times during the day on this social media site, I could see when he was on, and I seen that he was on here with the green dot several times during the day, a lot, all the time, and he never got back with me. So that dude was a flake, and that's not the way I roll, guys. When I do my transactions, there was one time. Let me tell you something about with me one time. Out of all the, man, I don't know, hundreds of gun deals I've done face to face, hundreds. There was one time I went to get a high-end gun, and me and this guy was traveling both about 45 minutes apiece to meet. And it was one of those things where it was an item that you don't normally see. It popped up. And it's one of those things where, like, I wanted to grab it before somebody else did. I said, I'll take it. Planned it out. And still in the back of my mind, though, I was like, man, do I want to spend this chunk of money on this firearm? You know, once the deal was locked in, I kind of had second thought, buyer's remorse a little bit. So I was like, all right, you know, so everything went along, and we went to meet and everything, and I got there, and I'm looking it over, and I'm looking it over. I just decided I didn't want the gun, which you're free to do. But man, I don't like to do that, and I don't know that I've ever done that before. So this is what I did. I said, man, I'll tell you what. I said, honestly, and I don't normally do this. I said, but I'm just not feeling it at this time. He was happy with it. He said, okay. He said, not a big deal. I think he even laughed a little bit. I said, it's just, you know, a lot of money. And he goes, yeah, I hear you. So this is what I did. I reached in my pocket. I pulled the money out, and I peeled a 20 off the top. And I said, well, here, get dinner on me. And he looked like he's seen a ghost. And he said, no, man, that's all right. I said, no, dude, I insist. I insist that you take this. I pushed it up on him. I said, I insist you take this. I said, I'm not. I said, I just backed out of this deal that we agreed to. And I said, that's not the way I conduct a business. And you drove all this way. So whether it's your gas money or your dinner tonight, I said, I'm giving you this $20. And he's like, well, you know, he took it. He said, if you're sure you want to do that, so, you know, I have no problem just driving back. He said, you know, if you didn't want it after looking it over, he said, because it's always kind of contingent on you looking it over anyway. There was nothing wrong with the gun. The gun was perfectly fine. It was me that changed my mind and backed out of the deal. So I gave the guy $20 for his trouble. And I felt that was fair. Maybe some of you guys don't see that way, but I never know of another deal in the hundreds I've done that I've backed out of. Just that one. So Here's the thing though. There's guys that won't even message people back. Or I've seen guys get on those forums and tell everybody that not only did the dude stop contacting him, he blocked him. Blocked him on the site. So he couldn't even get a hold of him. Blocked his phone number. His messages weren't going through. He could see on the iPhone, it wouldn't say delivered. The guy blocked him instead of just saying, hey man, I changed my mind. I mean, the guy didn't even drive nowhere. Saying I changed my mind over a phone when he's still at home, that's a lot different than driving there. So, but like I said, guys, I'm going to say 99% of all the deals and transactions I've ever done have been probably guys that I would be friends with after I talked to them for a little bit. Now, some of you may be wondering, and I'll still do a face-to-face transaction for you guys the next time I buy a gun used, and I'll show you live. Not live, but I'll wear a body cam and I'll show you. The guy will have to deal with it. If he don't like it, then he can take the gun back home, but he'll deal with it. But I'm just going to show you what we have to do. So it's all verbal. I don't have to see any proof. So here's the way the law works in Ohio. I'll ask you if you're in Ohio, if I'm selling a gun, okay, not if I'm the buyer, but if I'm selling a gun, I'll ask you, are you an Ohio resident? They can answer yes or no. Now, that's as far as you need to go, because it's the buyer's responsibility to know whether they're allowed to own the firearm or not. Some guys will say, are you an Ohio resident? And they'll say yes. I also look at their plates real quick, guys, too, when I get there to make sure they're Ohio plates, just to check. I don't take down their plate number, but I just make sure they're an Ohio resident by their plates, too. But anyway, some guys will say, are you an Ohio resident? And they'll say, do you have any felonies, any misdemeanor domestic violences, or anything that prohibits you from owning this firearm? Guys can say yes or no. I really don't go that far. I just make sure they're an Ohio resident, because the responsibility falls on the buyer to know whether they can own that firearm or not. If they drive a block down the road, cop pulls them over and they're a felon, and I'm up in a Walmart parking lot and that felon says, I just bought this gun, the cop sees he's a felon, confiscates the gun. He says, I bought it from that guy right there. There's nothing under the law that the police can do to me. If a policeman were to cuff me, he would get sued, that I'd own that police station, because the responsibility falls on the buyer, not the seller. Now, if the guy buying told me he was a felon and said, hey, I'm just buying this gun because I can't get one in a gun store, and I sold him that gun, yeah, then I'm going up on charges big time. That's where it changes the game. Okay, guys, I've got a couple more videos coming for you guys. We're going to talk about my opinions on the Hellcat versus the 365 SIG. And I'm also going to tell you a story time where just 2 nights ago, I seen a guy impersonating a police officer. And I'll tell you, what I said to him and what he was doing and just how he acted when I questioned him. So, talk to you guys real soon. This is DOF and I am out.